overview of infrastructure in South Korea. Okay, I will go rapidly. So, when I was an economist in an OECD from 2014 to 2017, I just made a graph comparing the stock of road infrastructure and national GDP, and the scale is logarithmic. So x-axis is the log of the total road length of Korea per year, and the y-axis is log of national GDP. And we found a perfect line, and we compared those lines to other countries, and we didn't find any similar cases. That means infrastructural investment of Korea really strongly correlated with economic growth. So we are proud of this principle of investment. Now I have to say that we cannot see such growth anymore. We are staggering right now. So I just have considered what caused this situation. So in history, Korea built very strong territorial development plan, which gives the strong functionality to each city. So the city A should be the manufacturing industrial complex. City B is for recreation industry. City 3 can be educational core development city, something like that. And then we built around neighborhood SOC infrastructure, as well as connecting them the arterial road and railway or airport, something like that. So Korea is like a small Lego block designed carefully by the decision maker. Right. So due to that framework, we can increase our economic side very rapidly so far. But now we can assign new functionality to each city. Each city has developed already. So we have to figure out what is the identity and functionality of each city, and then we have to find exactly room to develop in each city, and we should cure that. So it needs more careful calculation in engineering. So now I have to say the principle of transportation investment. Even though I'm saying only transportation investment, transport represents economic flow, right? Economic flow about trade, economic flow of commodity, and economic flow of individual, and those flow can be mingled with the transportation flow, which will create economic growth. So now, as engineering expert in my ministry, land, infrastructure, and transportation, simply I have to explain the investment principle based on orientation, destination data of the transportation flow. So we disseminate the paper or online-based survey to many people. Many people means around 1 to 5% of the total population. And then the survey asks which people goes to which city for what purposes. Then we will get very strong orientation destination database, and we assume that those traffic flow originate from the center of each city to the destination to the center of the city. So it's a kind of a simplification for calculation, and then we put those OD database into overall the transport network of Korea. The transport network is comprised of tons of link and the node. The link means is a connecting road or railway between the node. Node can be railway station, a bus station, everything. And I remember that is the number of node and link is up to 1 million in 2010. Right, and OD flow does not change. So the people will go their destination from their orientation in any way. But the route can be different based on economic calculation. People will follow more economical way, considering the length, time, and toll fee and transportation mode. Yeah. That's perfect so far. So the computer program will calculate all the routes and time of individual. And then the next step is important. When we plan to implement new transportation infrastructure like a road, a railway, or airport, the infrastructure will change the route. Not changing the OD database, but it will change the route. And we can compare before and after. So as a result of a comparison, if the new infrastructure saves the travel time, which will be translated into the money value, is bigger than construction cost of the infrastructure, then the building infrastructure is feasible. Fine. But problem is nowadays 90% of new infrastructure cannot be bigger than one. That is a problem. Because it is compared to the past. Compared to the past, it's a matter of elasticity. So in an underdeveloped country, building new infrastructure can lead or create new traffic volume based on the new infrastructure map. But now, we already developed too much. So just building new road cannot be so helpful to increase our GDP. So we have to find out the other value for the justification. So now, that is the point what we are trying to figure out. How can we justify the new infrastructure investment? You can see, if you have any idea, you can see there are some deficits in my calculation based on the OD database. First deficit is it does not consider the causality, right? OD database just explain the current status of travel. It does not explain why the people goes to or spend time for travel. That means which facility or which development core produce the economic traffic flow. That's the one thing. The second thing is it does not consider the secondary economic effect of the first calculation based on OD data. For example, so all the people save us 1 million hours, and then we put the million hour multiplied by the average labor cost. Then we can get some $1 million or $1 billion, something like that. But think about that. Time saving of mine cannot be same to the other person. The labor cost is totally different. And this is different from industry to the industry, right? So at this time, we are thinking about the famous the theory, Professor Wassily Leontief, the Nobel Prize winner who created the industry input-output metrics of a nation. Right. The saved time would be reinvested to the input-output metrics, the total production system of a nation, recursively invest and create more value added. And there is many research. I'm not sure if the minister run the railway infrastructure that you said before, and it's saying what I read in a research paper, and the researcher just revealed that around 20% more value added should be reconsidered as a real benefit, direct benefit. So what I want to say, now transportation infrastructure principle should be combined with total nation's production system very carefully. That's what Korea might face right now, and we are trying to solve this problem. This is maybe overview, right?
That's fine.